Welcome back to Everyday Health Hacker with Dr. Lisa Leal, sponsored by Meridian Health Institute, Meridian Medical Dental Healthcare. And today we're going to continue our conversation about osteoporosis and what you can do now and today in order to help keep your bones strong with strength. So we want to really avoid the biphosphonates, as we've been talking about these last couple of sessions on our playlist. The dangers of biphosphonates is, really maintaining your dental health and how we look at that from the whole body. So stay tuned, and we hope that you will subscribe.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Everyday Health Hacker. I'm Mike Herzing, and this nice young lady next to me is Dr. Lisa Leal.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, girl, how are you?
Doing great, ready and excited to talk about lipids, which is cholesterol for everyone else.
I woke up this morning and go, let's talk lipids. That wasn't the exact thing I said, but oh well.
Well, they're great questions, and I look forward to getting a chance to talk about them.
There you go. Dr. Leal is Chief Medical Officer at Meridian Health Institute in Sugar Land, Texas, and our goal is to provide you with information to help you make informed health decisions, and this lady is a smart one to be able to do that. So let's talk about lipids and what are they besides cartoon characters? No, that's not.
So lipids are, we're looking for high cholesterol. And when we look at it, we're looking at an HDL and LDL. Those are kind of like the basic lipid tests that a lot of doctors will do. Now, we can break that down into subparticles of that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But a cholesterol test, just so everybody knows, we're looking for less than 200 for your total cholesterol. And we're also looking for your HDL to be higher than 40, preferably 50 or 60, because that's your good cholesterol. And LDL, while it used to be 130, now they've changed the parameters to 100, and I have theories on that as well. A lot of patients are treated with statins, as everybody knows. I don't really like statins. I would prefer for us to do this naturally by getting exercise, getting a well-balanced diet, and one of the things that I'll look at when patients are like, I've been doing so good, I've been losing weight, however their weight hadn't changed, and you get their cholesterol back and it's really just through the roof. However, they think that they're doing all the right things, and their triglycerides are through the roof. They're like 200. I've even seen 300. And when it gets higher, like 300, I'm actually concerned about gallbladder stones, because we see that a lot. So that's one of the parameters that we'll look at. But to get our triglycerides under 150 or even lower, some really basic, easy things that you can do. No fast food. Keep your carb count low. When I say low, I'm looking at, for this specifics, as less than 100. Average in America is 250 carbs a day. That is a lot of carbs, and a lot of that comes from fast food, because it is a fast food nation, and every corner there's something to get. And, I always share, if you have to grab something, there's always salads. Even at the airport, there's better choices today. There's lots of what I call protein packs that you can run and grab, and now you can actually just walk through with a credit card, because they have these really non-existent employees at a store. It's just really, just interesting how that is.
Right.
It's an honor system, and everybody should always be on their honors.
Absolutely. But, there's also these $18 salads that are, this big. But still, the point is, what are triglycerides? It's in your blood, obviously, that your blood carries it, and it tells the doctor that there's fatty stuff in there,
right?
Or what is it? These are the markers or whatever that the blood carries that are bad.
So kind of think about it in the sense of, you're looking at a pipe, and when you're making, like, let's say it's pork sausage or it's bacon, and you see all these little particles on the pan, that same fat is floating in your blood, and it's not good for you, because it's causing everything to clog up. And some people might have a platelet condition where that cholesterol builds inside, which basically blocks.
Okay, so this is the stuff that plugs up your arteries. And
plugs up
like
the arteries, yes. It's not good. That's why I always say, if you're going to have sausage, choose turkey sausage over pork sausage. Make sure, if you're going to have it, make sure that you get as much grease out. And I'd prefer you not to have it. If you're going to have bacon and not Canadian bacon, by the way, Canadian bacon is high in salt, so I have caution on that as well. If you're going to have regular, thick, striped bacon, take all the fat out, cut it out before you make it.
That
just makes it better. If you're going to have eggs, choose to add an egg white in there with your eggs just to kind of balance it. Even though eggs are really good for you and they're low in calories and high in protein, it's a balance. And, as I share with people, they'll say, well, what do you have for breakfast? On our second book, I actually have an appendix in the back that says, this is where you can start. And that, there's Live Well with Chronic Pain. And then the second one is Cupid's Challenge, where it's talking about the intimacy of life in chronic pain. And on one of the appendixes, we actually added that. And if you would like a copy of that list, you can just send me a note in comments, and I'll be sure that we can send that out through an email to you.
Okay, so we don't want our arteries plugged up. We want to be healthy. We still would like to eat the good stuff. But let's say we go and get our blood tested, and we haven't done much. We haven't, we're making it through life okay, or our weight's good, and things like that. But all of a sudden, our numbers are either up or high, or something is different. The doctor goes, whoa, wait a minute. What have you been doing different?
Yeah.
Nothing. Well, wait a minute. These numbers, let's say, are high or low.
Don't
what
match.
would the doctor look at?
Well,
this is a
great
significant change here. What have you changed?
So the first thing that we always do is actually repeat the test, just to make sure that there wasn't a problem in the laboratory.
Okay.
If it still comes back that it's significantly high, then it's doing, during that time while we're waiting for those tests, I'll ask them to do a diary of their food. Sometimes they'll try and do a little bit better. Sometimes they won't. They'll just kind of do what they're doing. Are they getting cardiovascular exercise? Again, cardiovascular exercise, we're supposed to do 40 minutes 3 times a week. For women, it's 4 times a week to maintain your weight. Those are studies. It's not me saying it. These are studies that have shown that. And so I always say, if we can mix that up with a little bit of weightlifting, that'll also help your bones. And there's a difference in getting your heart rate to a steady state compared to getting it to an anaerobic state. The anaerobic state is what I call that runner's high, or, you're cycling really hard and you're just like, this is where I feel really good. That's not actually a weight loss state. A weight loss state is getting your heart rate, at my age group, 130s, which is really slow and boring. So I usually listen to something like a podcast or a book so that I can get through that time and be learning something at the same time.
There you go. Okay, so get your heart rate up, but keep it up for a little while.
Keep it up for a little while. And then if you want to
if
you want to peak because it's really boring to you, then I'll say do sets of 5 minutes. And the 5 minutes, it's 2 minutes at 120, 130, 1 minute, go all out. Let's say you hit 160. In the next 1 minute, I want you to bring back down to what your starting heart rate is. And that's a great test for seeing how heart healthy that you are, is by how fast you can bring your heart rate down.
Okay, all right, that makes a difference. All right, so but sometimes their heart's beating so fast, you're thinking, I'm having a heart attack,
Yes.
and you're like, okay, well, slow down a little bit.
Then you have to worry about atrial fibrillation, supraventricular tachycardia, and all that means is that your heart is out of rhythm and we need to slow it down. And the first thing that I'll always share with people is like, you know where your carotids are in your neck? And they'll say yes. And I'm like, I just want you to rub one side, because that will sometimes cause you to vasovagal and quickly bring that
To
down.
who?
Vasovagal.
Oh, because I should buy a vape. I thought you should go buy bagels.
No. Vasovagal. So they'll just, rub on their carotid, just, put a little bit of pressure, not a lot of pressure, just a little bit of pressure. Take deep breaths. Sometimes I'll have them put their head between their legs because they're hyperventilating because they are, and they also get scared and anxious, which makes it even more difficult. So if they're on the phone, that's what I'll talk them through. And then, we want to get them in. We want to run different laboratory tests. We want to do an examination, see their blood pressure, check their pulse rate, do an EKG and see where their heart rate is, and just give them a good overall physical, because atrial fibrillation can be deadly. It can cause a stroke, a heart attack. There's just a lot of deadly things. And, in today's society, we actually have apps that are actually FDA approved, of all things, because I'm surprised it got FDA approved so quickly, which even your Apple Watches can monitor for atrial fibrillation and tachycardia.
Right.
And now it can't look at some of the other things that we look at that are probably going to be on another series that will look at different heart conditions.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, it's funny how watches and
Yes.
phones and things can just do so much.
Yes.
You look up and you're going, I walked 8 miles today, and you're just like, I'm just at school teaching.
And you're not getting lost because it's telling you where to go.
Yeah, and it's telling you where to go,
Yes.
and so it's great. But to learn these kind of things, Doc, it's really handy But
especially for the primary care
when you
physician.
get to be a certain age, you kind of go, we want to go to the doctor, and they're worried if something changes dramatically. That's the first thing they'll look at. It seems to be.
And I don't look for dramatic changes. I look for what I call trends. Which
Well, there you go.
it reminds me, like when you're flying an airplane, you're always looking for a trend in the speed. So when you're landing, you don't want to be too fast and you don't want to be too slow, but you're not concentrating on just that one spot on the
Right.
plane. You're looking at everything. So if there's a trend going up or a trend going down, you're quickly adjusting it. Well, that's what we look for in integrated medicine, is that we're looking for a trend and we want to catch it very early, not waiting until something has occurred. It's just like asking a patient, when was the last time you had a dental exam? Because I can see plaque on their teeth and I know it's been a little while, but what if it's only been 2 months since their last exam? Something else is going on there. It might be diabetes. It might be hypertension. A lot of things can be shown by just looking in their mouth and looking at their teeth, because the plaque that's on their teeth is the plaque that's in their hearts. So we want to be really cautious, and that's why we take care of people from head to toe.
And the fur on their tongue and all this kind of different stuff. The whole bit, right?
There is
That's the old Japanese or Chinese thing where you
Yes.
look at the color of your tongue and all.
And
I'm
also-
like,
and your
it's-
nails. You look at your nails,
all
too.
this kind of stuff, and they're going, wow, everything. Your body just has these little telltales.
Yes.
Like the gamblers will say a tell.
Yes.
And you have tells, and your eyes are yellow, and this kind of stuff, and you're going, and you guys notice that as they walk in, you go, oh, you look pale, or you look this, and I'm like,
Yes, we're looking for what I call traditional diagnostics that aren't just a laboratory test. We're looking at you, the person, so that we can together find the best plan for your best optimal health.
that's what's nice about doing video, versus telephone doctoring. Video is so much better because you can see the person.
And in person is truly the best.
in person is very,
Yes.
it's absolutely the best. But COVID changed all that.
COVID changed all that, and we're always working through where patients want to maintain the video conferencing, which is okay with some, but a lot of them we actually need you to come in.
Absolutely.
I cannot listen to your lungs over the phone. But there is some new technology that's coming out for the heart rate that we'll be able to, that we're doing, and have a beta site that we're doing. That's been kind of fun to do with technology. So lots of new things.
Always has stuff going on.
Yeah.
She is 3 steps ahead of everybody else. I mean,
It's fun.
It's fun.
We've been doing video medicine for 25 years, back when there were satellites on the on the back of the office. So, that's something that I appreciated, that it came out to the masses as opposed to just select people.
There you go. All right, folks, if you have any questions or any topics you want us to tackle, info@everydayhealthhacker is your key to the world.
Have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon. Be sure to subscribe.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a great day.